Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Mikita, the founder and CEO at PandaDoc. Hello.
Hi, Christian.
It's a pleasure to host you on the podcast. At first, please tell us what is PandaDoc.
PandaDoc is a software application that helps close to 60,000 businesses to streamline their work with contracts, quotes, proposals, forms, and other transactional documents.
What's the biggest problem that the product solves?
Efficiency. PandaDoc helps companies and teams to be more efficient with mundane, bureaucratic workflows that normally take forever, but with PandaDoc become digital, automated, fast experiences. And so that's the biggest one. And then probably the second one would be compliance. We ensure that all agreements are stored in proper folders, that they're signed electronically in legally binding manner, and so on and so forth. So I'd say efficiency and compliance.
Okay. Is this a problem that you faced in the past?
Yeah, my co-founder and I run a development studio shop, you name it. And we've sent out a lot of sales proposals. We've sent out a lot of contracts. We've sent out a lot of forms. And we found that process to be very inefficient. And that's where we decided to streamline.
When did the journey happen? 14 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been 14 years for us. And we started first with a slightly different product, different to PandaDoc. That took about 3 years. And PandaDoc was launched about 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago.
Today, what would you say are the most used features of PandaDoc?
The most used features, electronic signing is probably number one. Ability to frequently send documents into templates and mail merge those templates with external data is probably number two. And then following that, various integrations, CRM integrations are pretty popular, right. Pretty common. A lot of our customers are in sales, and for folks in sales, it's important to associate customer documents with opportunity records, account records. It's important to merge data from within CRMs with the documents and the document templates so that you don't have to copy and paste over and over again, and so on and so forth.
That was my next question, basically. Which industries do you see mostly from your customers?
Yeah, we don't go to market through direct sales much. Most of our clients discover PandaDoc by either receiving a PandaDoc or searching for a solution to this or that problem that they have. Therefore, most of our customers are in sort of digital first industries, internet, software, media, lots of agencies, and then that's followed by a long tail of various fields, healthcare, education, construction, you name it. I don't think there is an industry where we wouldn't have customers.
Absolutely. Now that you mentioned, is the receiving a PandaDoc growth hack one of the largest for your site, for your company? Basically,
yeah, it is right? Sizable. It is sizable.
Or how competitive is your space?
It is competitive. It is competitive. It'd be interesting to find a CEO who would say, "Oh, my space is not competitive." I think.
How is it today versus 14 years ago?
How competitive is it today versus 14 years ago?
Yes.
To be
Were you one of the first solutions?
Yeah, to be candid with you, I wouldn't say I've done a great job assessing the market 14 years ago. I had no idea what market research really is. we had a problem and we wanted to solve this problem with software, and then we wanted to turn that solution into a business. It was very narrow thinking that I relied on, and in a way, we got lucky. But it's hard for me to basically compare those two data points. I would imagine that there are more companies and more products and more players today compared to like where we had 14 years ago. It'd be a natural progression. But again, we've not done a proper market assessment 14 years back.
How is PandaDoc different from the rest of the competitors?
We're very different in be that technical implementation of the product or the market focus. Where the only let's take both of those sort of and dive in. From the market focus standpoint, we're an all-in-one solution, meaning that PandaDoc is a solution for your sales, contracts and quotes and proposals, and then for HR, contracts and forms, and you name it. Pretty much all transactional back office contract form needs for any small to mid-sized business. Like think anywhere from a few people in the garage to hundreds of people using PandaDoc to streamline contracts. And I'd say within that sort of space, within that market, we're the largest player and the most focused player. Now, from technical implementation, or I guess like the actual product standpoint, documents in PandaDoc aren't files. We're not a file sharing, file storage application. Documents in PandaDoc are applications themselves. They're sort of kind of like websites. You can build them out of a set of interactive blocks. You can merge data in, pull data out. You can embed payments. You can embed forms. You can embed anything. You can pretty much embed into a website or web application. And that's what makes us different, because most other, be that e-signing or contract management players, rely on just two document formats, which we also support. But those formats are not the foundation of how we build the product. The formats I'm talking about are PDF and Word.
Yeah.
So we are different. We're when building the product, we knew that this is going to be the sort of our major differentiator and major obstacle and so on and so forth. But that's the path we decided to choose, and that's how we're different today.
Thank you for sharing that. I'd love to know more about the founding story. So basically, you're two co-founders.
That's right.
And you decided to solve this problem. It took 3 years ago to get to PandaDoc, the concept.
That's right.
Basically. And from there, how did the company grow? Did you raise any funding? What was the story?
I've known my co-founder for now 20 years. We met at a university and briefly played in the same rock band. Then we set to build an agency business and grew it to about 30 people, sold that business, started tinkering with various startup ideas, some of which were based on internal problems from within that agency, sort of period of our cooperation. And and then the first product that kind of took off was a product for web developers, web designers to do sales quotes. That product we grew to about 1,000 customers, I believe, maybe a little more than that. We raised money when we decided to conceptualize PandaDoc, because PandaDoc seemed like a much bigger, much more ambitious play. I exported myself from Eastern Europe to Silicon Valley, and I've run around for about a year knocking on various doors trying to trying to raise money. And then
1 year.
eventually we succeeded.
And you raised your first seed round or pre-seed?
We raised a seed round in 2014, I believe. 13 or 14.
Okay. And what was your latest funding round today?
Oh, the latest funding was Series C. It was $60 million. Oh, and which is much different from, I believe that was $650,000.
Absolutely. How big is the team today overall?
We're a team of 700.
Wow. And I guess spread out all over the world.
All over the world, with a large concentration in the US, Portugal, Poland, Ukraine, and Philippines.
How would you describe your culture? And was it hard to build a culture hiring so fast?
It was hard, and it is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy in a fast-changing market because the market conditions very different today from what they were back in, let's say, 2021, which was very different from what it was back in 2010, 11, 14,
Right.
and so on and so forth. Plus, considering that the large part of our team is in Eastern Europe, the political turmoil and the war that's ongoing there, all of that makes a big difference.
Did it affect you when the war started? Did it affect the team directly?
Oh yeah. Prior to the start of the war, we had folks in Ukraine. It was a large office. We had some folks in Russia, and we have some folks in Belarus.
Wow.
Yeah. Once the war started, we decided to seize all operations in Russia and Belarus, and most of those folks had to move.
Yeah.
We try to support everyone we can, everyone who was able to leave Ukraine, and as a result, through 2022 and 2023, PandaDoc was partially a software company and partially an immigration and relocation agency.
Yeah, I saw you're supporting.
Yeah, we've helped migrating hundreds of people.
Wow. Oh, that's very much appreciated.
Rather, we helped hundreds of people to migrate.
Would you say this was your biggest challenge throughout the entrepreneurial career?
Probably. Definitely makes the top 3.
Maybe you can share some mistakes that you've done or some top learnings for future founders.
Mistakes. Your podcast is 30 minutes long, and if I was to go over the list of my mistakes, I think it'd probably take days.
Absolutely.
Not more than that. Look, I'm the first time founder of something of PandaDoc scale, and I made a lot of mistakes. Name the area. There's likely a mistake that I made. And what's tricky is, sometimes you do something and it feels right, and like a year later you look back and it seems more as a mistake, and then 5 years later you look at it and then you feel it was the right decision. So it's pretty hard to reconcile. In terms of like the learnings, I'd say the biggest learning is that I had is I wasn't as open to feedback and others people ideas. I think starting PandaDoc, and I'd like to believe that I'm more open to that now. But I think that the folks I work with are much better judges to this. That's probably the biggest learning. Is that, collective brain is always better than a singular brain, even if that singular brain makes many of the decisions.
I appreciate the transparency here. I'm curious to know, how did you find your first customers? And today, what's your most successful go-to-market strategy?
Our first customers came through just a variety of different growth hacks that probably would work today. We're talking about 2010, 2011, 2012.
Wow.
Blogs, newsletters, launches on platforms that may not even exist now.
Yeah.
That was that was my job. That's what I did full time. Post here, post there, ask for coverage here, ask for coverage there. We've integrated the product with some bigger players early on. I think that helped a lot as well in our early days. Let's see what else. And then we've tried to do some things, or like parts of the product, some little things that were free and that folks can benefit from without really paying us anything. For a time, it was a nice little boost that contributed. It wasn't the main sort of way that helped us grow, but it created a little nice boost for us to slightly bend the curve.
And how about today? What's the most successful strategy today? Is it
today? It's brand. Like,
yeah,
we're talking about dozens of thousands of businesses and millions of people interacting with PandaDoc, and that creates a halo effect. That creates a decent brand awareness, virality, and all those good things. It's different today. Today's marketing, or today's go-to-market for PandaDoc, today's growth for PandaDoc is completely different from what it used to be back in the day.
My next question would be about your vision for the future of the company. What are your plans?
The vision for PandaDoc: we want to build the most intuitive platform that automates agreements, transactions, and document-driven workflows. Think back office, contracts, forms, front office, quotes, proposals, contracts. We want to be the source of truth, the system of agreement for, the system of record for this type of information, for this type of agreements, for this type of relationships that are backed by documents. There's still a lot of work for us to do in order to make our product super intuitive, in order to really do what we envision we need to do in order to truly help our customers to be more efficient, compliant, organized, and just do better work.
I love that. I love that vision. And now, more on a personal side, I love to know basically how you started your career, your life story, if you can share. Yeah, very shortly, because we have 30 minutes, as you mentioned.
Sure. I first came to US when I was 19 on a student exchange program. I worked at Honolulu International Airport in a deli, flipping burgers and serving macaroni salad, which is not a salad at all. There are no vegetables. But for some reason they call it a salad. So I did that, and then I did a bunch of random jobs, and then I was trying to learn to work in Photoshop
in order to design websites, which was the first business, the first thing that I got myself busy with that actually worked and brought some money. So my career history is random jobs to web design, to turning web design into a business, to, I guess, running a software company.
And what would be your best piece of advice for a starting entrepreneur or youngster?
I already gave that. Just be open to feedback.
Okay. And one last question from me. What's your favorite software that you use, but apart from PandaDoc?
I guess not all feedback is good feedback, of course, but like having information coming in externally is a good thing. Having that information is better than not having any of it at all.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to share today on the podcast?
No, I think it's good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And if I can be of any help in any way else, let me know.
Thank you so much, Mikita. It's very appreciated. And hope to meet you soon in person.
All right.